For more on the investigation, I want to go now to Chris Swecker. He is the former assistant director of the FBI. Chris, thank you for joining us. The first thing I want to get your take on is you heard Brooke say no word from Diddy's legal team, and we just got some scoop from Ashley Banfield a couple of minutes ago. She made a call to Ben Brafman, who is Diddy's longtime attorney. And when he answered the phone, he told Ashley that he has parted ways with Diddy and that this happened a little over a week ago, which is interesting because he's always been the guy who's made the comments before. Any indication what that might mean, Chris?
No, I mean, it's hard to flesh that one out. We can only be speculating on that, but clearly there is a significant HSI sex trafficking, human trafficking investigation ongoing. And I would tell you this, you're not going to see this level of resources, tactical teams, 2 different searches, and then Opa-locka Airport and the airplane and the arrest. You're not going to see that. They don't devote that level of resources to a one-off type of sexual assault or one-off sexual harassment or anything like that. I mean, this would have to have some connection to servitude, forced sex acts, crossing state lines, crossing international boundaries. It looks pretty serious. So maybe the lawyer just ducked out ahead of it because his advice wasn't followed.
Yeah, that's interesting. And one thing I've noticed with this is no one's really coming out and talking on behalf of Diddy. There's no former friends talking. There's no victims. There's no lawyers. There's been no one talking for the last 24 hours, which I find to be very interesting. I don't know what that means. You look at the mansions here. You mentioned how big the search was. I mean, they had the FBI crews out there. They had HSI, they had SWAT team. It's clear they must know something. I went to bed, Chris, thinking, am I going to wake up and P. Diddy's going to have been arrested? Do you think that that's imminent?
Well, probable cause is a standard to get search warrants, and it's probable cause that the crime's been committed and evidence of that crime is at that location. So they're searching his home. So it wouldn't take a Mensa candidate to make the leap that that they're looking at him. These are his homes. And, they're obviously still in the investigative mode. They may have probable cause to do searches, but they apparently don't have probable cause to make an arrest at this point. So, I think they're going to have to go through their evidence, their devices. I'm sure they were looking for devices, things that are electronic, phones and that sort of thing. And they obviously had information about his mule because they went straight to him and arrested him while he was carrying, apparently. So there's, a lot of information goes into these search warrant affidavits, so I'll bet you there are some live sources that are reporting on him, and they have some real information.
Yeah, you mentioned the alleged mule, Brandon Paul, who was arrested. I was wondering, do they take him and then while they've got him in, try to question him about this whole other massive investigation? Is that part of that arrest, do you think?
Could be a strategy, yes. I mean, you want to. And as a general rule, you flip the mid-level people, the smaller, the lower-level people that have information, and you want to get the whale, if there is one here.
Why is it Department of Homeland Security? I think a lot of people are confused by that.
They, after 9/11, the FBI had to devote a lot more resources to counterterrorism, counterintelligence, and some of their traditional missions, one of which is sex trafficking, suffered a little bit. I mean, they weren't able to put the resources into it, and agencies like HSI kind of stepped in. They're more than happy to step in and do investigations that went beyond just immigration violations and customs violations. So you saw other agencies kind of step into these areas here. So it's actually one of their staple investigations now, and they do a fairly good job of it.
Chris, do you think Diddy could be a flight risk? Because he's obviously got a lot of money. He's basically a billionaire at this point. He's got a jet. Do they have eyes on him right now? Do you think there's a concern that all of this could be happening and he's thinking, let me get somewhere where, the U.S. doesn't have agreements and I can sort of ride this out?
Yeah, if they feel like this is leading to enough information to arrest him, which I think that's where this is headed, I would suspect they have him under surveillance and they're tracking him pretty closely. And to answer your question about flight risk, I would say he certainly has the means. He certainly has a passport, because he goes to Antigua. He's got a jet. So all that adds up to pretty good mobility if he chose to try to get to the wind. It wouldn't, the only thing to prevent him from doing that would be an arrest without a warrant. if the agents felt like they had enough probable cause or could get enough probable cause to detain him. Right now, he's free to go anywhere he wants.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.